So it is time for episode 2. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Ardil, and today we are carrying on the journey on the Range Rover demo vehicle. Today's video is going to be focusing on stripping the car down, getting the custom adapters built, and also focusing on a little bit of soundproofing on the vehicle. Let's jump in to today's video.
In today's episode, we're going to be diving into the heart of this build. Today, we're going to be stripping this vehicle down to its core, preparing it to the transformation for it to become a truly acoustic masterpiece.
The next step is to make our 3D printed adapters. So we've removed the factory speakers from the car that allow me to take the measurements I need to make sure our speaker adapters are a complete perfect fit and a direct placement for the OEM speakers, allowing them to fit back in perfectly behind each of the door cards. Before 3D printing anything, I make blueprints that are printed onto paper and I can cut them out, allow me to check the fitment for all of the mounting holes against the factory locations. That way there's no material or time wasted on 3D prints that don't fit the vehicle. Once that's done, it's time for the test printing, so I'll use old filament leftovers and I'll make prototypes of the adapters, allow me to test the fitment of the adapters and the speakers together with the factory panels. From this point, I can make any changes I want to the 3D model, ensuring that the correct fitment angle and depth is achieved to deliver the superb bass and flawless vocals without interfering with any of the factory components inside the doors, and ensuring not one bit of sound is lost behind the door cards bouncing around.
So that's the speaker adapters all printed off and confirmed to be a top-notch fit. So next up is soundproofing. We've already done a little bit of that. That was again just to confirm fitment with the speaker adapters and indoor cards, for example. But this car is getting filled to the brim. It is going everywhere. Now, with soundproofing, you know that it keeps out all the unwanted rattles, any road noise, all of that. Now, it also helps create a brilliant sound environment inside them door cards and everywhere else, like where we're putting the subwoofer, etc. So we're going to crack on, let's get it going.
What a journey it's been already. I mean, the demo car build is fully underway. This is such a big project. There's so much involved, so much detail going into this car. It's absolutely unreal. So let's go, let's show you the journey. So guys, as you can see, the car is pretty stripped. I mean, this is actually partly put back together. So firstly, we'll start right at the top of the vehicle, the headlining. So this had just a material that didn't look that nice along the top. So we've retrimmed the entire roof lining as well as all these panel works with Milano. So it's basically a slightly stretchier version of Alcantara in essence. But that is running all the way throughout, and that is basically part of the theme. So we're doing black Milano throughout the entire vehicle. So we've got the headlining, the B post, C post, so all the posts are all done. So all the A pillars, and then we're going to be blending that down into the rest of that build. So we're also having the steering wheel retrimmed. That will also feature Alcantara on there. Then in the boot area, that will all be in the same material. So it's going to flow in really nicely. I'm going to add in little elements of that into the rest of the car, just giving it a far nicer feel inside this vehicle. So that is the headlining. That's obviously all been soundproofed up top, and all our cables have been run along the top for our dash cam as well. So that is all done. Moving then down onto the let's start at the dashboard end. So obviously steering wheel's off. This entire part has all been off. Reason is to soundproof behind there. So this car is having, we haven't calculated exactly how many sheets we've used in total when we're doing the build, but this is pretty much all the soundproofing that is being done. So we will at the end in the final video tell you exactly how many sheets we have used, but all behind the dashboard area, all the way up the firewall up here has all been soundproofed as well as the back of the panels like up here. So everything is now really nice and solid. So that is the dashboard area. As you can see, the rest of the floor plan has all been done. Obviously roof's all been done as well. And then obviously, as you guys know, in the first video I said these things, building a demo car is always slightly fluid because the spec can change depending on how we want to do stuff, what products we're going to use, new stuff coming in. And I'm a big believer in having a system in a demo car that can basically be very versatile and play lots of different kind of cars within one car. That's exactly what the system will be able to do. One really cool thing that we're going to be able to do on this car is actually showcase an 8-inch sub in a footwell of a car, and in essence just play. So we'll have a preset on the settings part of the DSP system, and I'll actually be able to have a setting that will just play a 3-way front end with a sub. So for example, an RA, a Hurricane, a Aventador, whatever, we can actually demonstrate a very similar sound inside this vehicle of replicating that. Obviously space is different, but we can play the speakers that would be playing in a car like that. So that's quite cool. As you can see by the back of the vehicle, we've got some templates. So because obviously when we're measuring and stuff to obviously protect things like the product, like what you can see in front of you is 2 amplifiers that are product themselves. Each one of them is around £4,000 a piece. So we're dealing with a lot of money here in terms of equipment. So only on certain occasions we'll bring the product into the car when we're doing the build process. The middle product, which is going to sit in between those 2 amplifiers, that is going to be the Audison Thesis Venti. So that is a £10,000 amplifier. Then we've got another one of the Thesis line, which will sit above the Venti, which is the one at the back here. Again, another £4,000 amplifier. And then we're going to have 2 Audison Voces, a Quattro and a 1-channel. They are about £1,000 a piece. So you've got a lot of money there, basically, sat underneath the floor. So this is really cool. So again, that OEM Plus look, which is what we're known for, and having such incredible systems but still retaining space, that's what we've kind of focused on. It's not about, gone are the days of filling your boot completely with products so it's all unusable. These systems are usable. So by the time we're finished on this system, I'm going to have all my boot floor available to use. So that's the really cool thing about all this level of gear. We're doing it in such a way where pretty much you're not going to be able to tell. The rear doors are stock look, the front doors are stock look pretty much, other than one bit of customization for the tweeters. But again, OEM look, like it's very, very, very stock looking. Same with the boot. The boot floor is really cool because that's going to be, we're going to have a little button that basically presses, and in the final video you'll see all this, but you press a little button and what happened is the floor will rise and showcase all these amplifiers. However, when I don't want to show it and I need to use the boot, I can have that dropped and I've got all my boot space back. You'll see some boards on the sides as well. So these are templates and starting to build the the subs, what we're going to be doing is basically still making them flow, but not having them obtrude too far into the vehicle, and actually just having the 2 grills on display for the subs. So basically all you'll see is the 2 grills for the subs, and that is absolutely it. Nothing else will be on display until I press the reveal button, and then all the amps will be on display. And we're going to do something pretty cool underneath there, but that will depend on space later on the fabrication side. But there's so much to do on the car. I mean, getting the car to this point is a big job by itself. You might be thinking also about signal. So obviously we've got the factory radio in the car. So what we're actually going to be doing is taking an optical signal straight in to a optical converter, which will then convert into the Audison Beacon, which is a high-res streaming device, and then that will go over to the Bit Virtuoso, which is basically the processor on the system. That will feed out to the amplification. Amplification will then go out to all the speakers, and then part of that DSP is I'll have control to be able to showcase lots of different sound systems in the vehicle. So when you come to listen to it, I'll be able to showcase once I've done the tuning, which will probably be like probably a week worth of tuning to get this car right. But when we get to that point, by the time I'm finished, again, what we'll be able to do is showcase a front end with a sub, front end 3-way by itself, front and rears without a subs. Or we'll actually be able to showcase the entire full system. We'll be able to take away rear subs, put the front in, take away the front sub, just have the rears and there's going to be so many different configurations, probably 8 different configurations of different sound systems all in one vehicle. Hopefully this video has given you a little bit more insight in terms of the depth of level we go to. Obviously bear in mind guys, it's the installer that actually makes a car sound good. The way the tuning's done, the way the car's looked after when it's in, the level of detail that the guys go to when we're installing, that's the bit that makes it. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. You've seen this very slightly different video, a bit more of a vlog style, of basically showcasing where we're up to on the demo car build. It is a monster journey. There's still a lot of work for the team to do, but our team are smashing it out. We're sat in the corner of the workshop. We're working away on it. It's a long process. It's not a quick thing, but it's going to be absolutely unreal. And I cannot wait for the first clients to sit in this car and listen to it. It's just going to be absolutely bonkers. The level of detail that you'll be able to hear in this car with that Venti and 3 other Thesis amplifiers, so 4 Thesis amplifiers in the vehicle plus 2 Voce amplifiers. It's just going to be bonkers, guys. There's no other way to describe it. So I cannot wait to share the rest of the journey with you, and we'll see you guys on the next video.